Hello everybody and welcome to today's watch party for the classic Little Shop of Horrors. As always, I'm Andrew and I'm joined by Dom again. Welcome, Dom.
Hello and welcome everybody. I'm very looking forward to this one. I love this film.
I love it too. I absolutely love it too. So everybody, just to say, our sync point will be when the Geffen logo appears on the screen and when as soon as it completes saying a Geffen company release. I can see we've got some friends joining us. We've got over on YouTube, we've got Pepijin again, welcome. We've got Soul Searching Destroy, who says to us, a deadly hungry bunt. Finally a character I can relate to. That's brilliant. And Cute Cult says, welcome to In Search of Show Tunes. Well, you never know. You never know. And I just want to say we also got an amazing gang joining us over on Discord. We have, if I miss you out, shout up. We've got Sharon, Mad Matt, Lizard Man, Hannah Rose, Artist, Brainwire, ENIAC. Let's go through. I saw Edward the Black Prince, Phonic. Let's go through. Who else? So we got James Hellier, Calbot. We've got Eric. We've got everyone joining us. I'm looking forward to this film. So, Dom, as we always start with these things, as everyone's getting themselves queued up, when did you first see this film?
I don't remember. I was a child and it was on the TV. This is one of the ones where my mum really enjoyed it, and I think it's because it's a musical. Mm-hmm. She really enjoyed... I enjoyed the horror aspect of it as a kid. As I grew up, I found myself singing the songs more and more. But this is one of the few moments where my mum introduced me to it rather than like my dad or my sister or my brother.
Yeah.
Or a friend that I happened to go over to his house and see a random horror film like Creepshow 2. Yeah, this movie has always remained in my consciousness. I say, feed me Seymour more often than I care to admit. Most people look at me peculiarly. I'm always surprised when people don't know of this film. I actually showed it to my wife after she made me watch Rocky Horror Picture Show. Spoiler alert, I'm not a fan of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, but I love this film, and I think it's because this has a coherent story, whereas the Rocky Horror doesn't. That's a different kind of film, and it's just not for me. This one is.
This one's great. It's got a wicked sense of humour. It's just great fun, great performances. And we'll talk a bit about the music going into it. The cast in it is just phenomenal.
Absolutely amazing.
It's just brilliant. But what we'll do is we'll get going with the movie and we'll discuss some more bits as we get into it. So everybody, on the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, press play, Seymour. Yeah, the first time I saw this, I rented it. I've discussed this before. When I was growing up, we had a video man, would be the best way to describe him. It was some guy who rented out non-rental cassettes from the back of his car. He had milk crates in the back of his car, and he'd drive around and he was really cheap. And he'd buy the retail copies of films and just rent them out to people.
That's fair. It's a decent business, I suppose.
Yes, even though it probably isn't. Probably wasn't very legitimate, but I
probably
rented it from him, and I loved it. I thought it was great. So, looking at our friends over on, oh dear. Well, guess what? We're going to feed you to Audrey, you spam bot on YouTube. You're gone. There we go.
I miss title crawls like this in films.
I do. Yes, Sharon, out the back of a car, it was completely legit. I'm sure it was. In the winter, he'd give you a torch to look through the crates in the back of his car to get the movie. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong here, and I don't know whether the songs are just so good. Did there used to be at some point a Little Shop of Horrors Saturday morning cartoon?
I am having the same thoughts. I think there was, but I don't know.
I'm sure our friends on Discord or YouTube could look at for us. And we've got Soul Search and Destroy saying Rick Moranis is the best. He is.
Rick
He's
Moranis is
absolutely
amazing.
awesome.
He can't sing to
And
save his life, but he's
Pep-
amazing.
Pep Jin says he's such a good person, really down to earth. Welcome, dueling demigod Autor. And he says, yes, there was a Saturday morning cartoon,
Hey.
and it was terrible. And apparently, James Hellier, welcome over on YouTube, James. There was, but it was terrible. Audrey 2 didn't eat people in it. And Lizard Man has posted a link to an episode of it in our Discord. Thank you. I knew I remembered something of it, which is a really weird franchise to make a cartoon of.
That was the 80s, though. They made, even into the 90s, they made a Starship Troopers TV show, kids cartoon, a Mortal Kombat kids cartoon.
Yep.
Good God, there was so many weird franchises that became children's cartoons.
Yeah. Well, Dueling Demigod Author says, it was kind of like the Beetlejuice cartoon where the antagonist monster was suddenly the protagonist's friend. Yeah, very, very weird.
The RoboCop cartoon as well, yeah.
Say it all. Yep, Fraglord, welcome, yep. Oh, this song is just so cool.
Every musical should have... Oh, God, what are they called? The Muses? They should have the Muses just singing around and narrating the story to people.
Yes.
I love that trope.
I wish I had my life kind of musically narrated as I walk around and stuff.
I'm not sure how my wife would feel about having 3 amazingly talented women burst out of every corner of the house, though, and just narrate my life.
Can we just say, was there ever a more perfect casting, possibly?
I can't picture one.
With Seymour than Rick Moranis. I mean, he is Seymour.
Rick Moranis, in everything he's in, seems to completely dominate the role and is incredibly lovable and can't be replaced.
Not at all. Not at all. He is just perfect in this. Yes, and ENIAC. Definitely some Disney Hercules vibes. A lot of Disney vibes on this. As you know, I quite like my Disney stuff. Howard Ashman worked on this. The late, great Howard Ashman, who just was incredible with the songs and the lyrics he wrote. Sadly passed away in 1991, I believe. Yeah.
Ellen Green's great as well.
Oh, definitely. This is what I would say is, though, this is a perfect movie in that I can't imagine it being recast with
I was
anybody.
about to say, yeah. I mean, let's do a fan recasting right now. Who would you put in place of any of these characters? The dentist is probably the most, or the easiest to recast because you just need an arsehole.
But then again, the problem
Steve
is, well, it's not even the problem. The beauty of it is all the amazing performances. Everyone just owns their role in this movie.
Yeah. As a kid, I didn't like Mr. Mushnick at all. As an adult, I find myself vibing with him very much. I also love this set. It's probably the Universal backlot. It looks like the Universal backlot. But
it might be. I don't know. I'd have to have a look where it was filmed. I'll have a look now. I don't know. I think that they're studio sets. That's not the backlot.
You reckon?
I think they're interior studio shots. Yeah.
It very well could be.
I'll have a look. It was filmed in London, in Pinewood.
Oh, there we go then.
On the 007 stage.
Keep an eye out for some British cars roaming around then.
No, it's just a giant stage.
These long shots are gorgeous.
They are. Everything is. We're all going to be just...
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But every performance is just brilliant in it. The singing and everything in it is just...
Love it. I like how he just throws out his wife's food. She's just sitting out.
I think what's really cool as well is this was directed by Frank Oz. I mean, he was a great director, most famous for the voice of Yoda and Fozzie Bear.
Mm-hmm,
and Miss Piggy, of course, the original voices. But he's not really a musical director. Not known for sort of being a very musical director, but he does a great job in this.
Phenomenal. I've already pointed out how the camera just flows and it just zooms in perfectly on where they need to.
But Soul Search and Destroy says, I have a soft spot for Roger Corman's films. What a mad lad. Yeah, he absolutely awesome movies. And James says, the production shared the Pinewood stage with Aliens and the productions were concurrent, which I think is brilliant. You could imagine right now. You could be
just bursting on screen. They're such catchy songs.
They are. They're just brilliant.
When I was a kid, my high school was going to do a musical production of Little Shop of Horrors, and they stopped. Like, I don't know why they stopped. I was furious. I would have loved it.
Well, considering Howard Ashman was actually nominated for an Oscar for this film.
I believe
the
it.
Song Mean Green Mother from Outer Space.
That's probably my favourite song in the whole...
Is it?
Yeah.
My favourite song is Grow For Me.
Oh.
I love that song. And I'm not going to... I've had a few people asking me to sing along today. I don't want to punish you all like that, unfortunately. And Dueling Demigod Auto says, oh, shame. They did Little Shop of Horrors at their high school.
I would have loved it. If this comes to Vegas at all, if it ever goes back on stage and there is musical productions, I'm definitely going to go see this.
Yes. James, yes and no, I would say. You're saying it's the only Oscar-nominated song with profanities to that point. Because don't forget the controversy a few years later with Blame Canada, which was nominated from South Park the movie. Hannah, I agree with you over on Discord. Does anyone get slightly emotional when watching this? I do. Kaizo Kuj, welcome. We're about 10 minutes and 25 seconds in.
And again, as a kid, I remember looking at Mrs. Green's performance and I was like, you are trying so hard when everyone else is just having fun. Yeah. As an adult, hell nah. She gives it her all because she wants to give it her all, and it's amazing.
Ellen Green, yeah, absolutely amazing.
Her voice is phenomenal. I think she was a professional singer.
Yeah, she is, yes. And ironically, her father was a dentist.
I just love how he shouts his lines like he's on stage.
Oh. Well, we've got a couple of great comments here. We've got from the same comment from Dueling Demigod, Author, and Soul Search and Destroy, that she was the original Broadway Audrey in 1982, and that's brilliant when they let the original Broadway
performers go on to do the stage for the movie.
Take on the movie.
Her voice is phenomenal. I freaking love it. That
This is quite an unusual shot for the era.
This is the kind of thing that justifies a stage to movie conversion. Being able to see it from different perspectives.
Yes, Edward, yep, she's got a black eye at the moment, and we will find out.
Squeaks. Oh. Just want to give her a hug.
You do. A strange and interesting plant in the window.
I couldn't help but notice that strange and interesting plant there in the window. Oh, I love it. It's so on the nose.
It is. Oh, this is another great song.
Yeah. Shoop doo woo.
Yes, it is, James. That is Christopher Guest as the man who comes in.
Hang on,
doo-wop gangs on the street corner. That's Danny John Jules from Red Dwarf. Yeah, well, he's a notable singer and dancer, isn't he?
Yeah. I don't know how I never realised. I think I might have picked it up as a kid and be like, "Is that cat?"
Yep. Mad Matt 42 says the old man is currently sold out of Mogwais, so he sold the plant instead. That's right. Yeah, about $13.50 in.
For $1.95.
25. I've got a plan, Dom. You know when we do our internal meetings every Wednesday with Creative EC? Mm-hmm. I think we should get doo-wop singers in when we give our weekly updates to the boss man.
So the watch party went like this: doop doop ba-doop. The comedy timing is just beautiful.
It's amazing. James Hellier says, really good question here. What would win in a fight?
Gremlins or Audrey 2s? Audrey 2s plural. Ooh.
Right. I don't know. I think Mogwais probably because they're devious.
I think they join forces to create more.
They probably would.
Nightmares because they're both relatively intelligent.
Yep. Neil, welcome, Neil. We've not seen you for a while. Kudos to anyone who can keep any plant or flower alive. Exactly. Yes.
My wife has a very bad green thumb. She kills pretty much any plant that she touches.
Oh, okay.
Even the plastic ones.
Frag Lord, we need to take that. We'll take that back to the boss man at this week's meeting. A musical Creative EC doc with all the voiceover in singing, please.
Oh God. Oh.
Oh. He's the only fella I got, so something bad is better than nothing. Oh. Also, can we just appreciate how awesome the sort of the puppetry and the animatronic for the Audrey at the various stages are? I would say this film as well is one of the most dense song movies I've seen. There's very little dialogue in between songs in this movie.
Yeah, very little. And yet you know so much about all the characters. It does it perfectly. That matte painted background. I love it.
Yeah. It's just got this charm of it, hasn't it?
Yeah. this musical charm.
Mm.
Something a lot of modern musicals don't have. They don't try and make you think it's a stage anymore, which has
No.
good bits and bad bits, I suppose. I like seeing them on a stage.
Well, Shan says that Audrey's like a cartoon character with the look and the walk and the voice. She is. She's a bit like a live action Betty Boop. Is probably the best way to do.
I'd say like olive oil from Popeye.
Kind of. A little more voluptuous though.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're just gonna sit here listening to all the songs and jiving
I
out.
know, it's so good.
And yet the subject matter is
Yeah.
depressing as anything.
Oh, definitely.
All the best musicals are, though, aren't they?
But also, the end of this song is really terrifying. When you think about it. When the well, we'll wait till we get to that bit of the song. But the lyrics are so clever.
Yeah, they're informative and evocative at the same time.
That's correct, Neil. Yes, she did. She starred in Pushing Daisies, the TV show.
Yeah. Man, I'm so upset that show got cancelled.
Mm.
So upset. But hey, he's now doing Brian Fuller's now doing a Friday the 13th show.
Oh, here we go. Don't you think that's really weird how we do have a tendency to drink our own blood if we cut ourselves?
Yeah. Well, the phrase lick my wounds comes from somewhere, I suppose.
That's a really, really good point, Dueling God. Basically, I wonder how many parents were surprised with the darkness of this movie when they took kids to see it.
It's called The Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, but it's about a puppet plant. This bit's awful. It's the way the kind of the
Snap.
it's like a little piranha plant thing, isn't it? It's kind of
Yeah. No.
Great puppet as well.
It's
Oh wow!
phenomenal.
Julian God said they saw it and then they were 12. Oh, even the expression on the puppetry is brilliant. Oh.
The fact that we can see the emotions and the needs of.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's why Soul Search and Destroy. There's a reason why we and other animals lick our wounds. Enzymes in saliva speed the clotting process, ease the pain, and slow down the bleeding. And the blood just tastes good.
Yep.
It does. It is cute, and it looks real.
So
This
harmless.
plant. The puppetry is incredible in this film.
It is incredible.
And of course, don't forget, this has to be a live-action puppet. It's not a, it's not CGI because it wasn't available for this kind of work at the time.
Oh God, a remake would have it be CGI, wouldn't it?
It would. Oh wow.
That looks like it was done with a mixture of forced perspective and bladder
I think
work.
so. It might be. And the effects in this were done by the same company who did Hellraiser of our recent watch.
What a surprise.
Interestingly, though, the puppetry was not done by sort of Jim Henson's team.
Yeah, you'd expect it would be. What does she have that's locked up in a box? Is that Fluffy from Creepshow? A miniature version?
I wonder if it's a Mogwai.
It does look like a xenomorph egg, doesn't it?
Hannah says apparently there was going to be a remake, And yes, they would use CGI. It got cancelled, which is probably for the best. I agree. Sharon says the plant grows when you give it blood. Yeah, time to be concerned and not let it out in the general public.
I don't know. I feel like if I was in Seymour's, oh god, look at all the plasters on his hand. Poor guy. Who would you feed to Seymour? To
I'm
Seymour.
sorry,
Who
I've
would you
just got
feed
to
to?
highlight this comment, and I kind of agree. Soul Searching Destroy
Yes.
says, I want to know the story with the sax playing nun doll. Yes, I do too. Oh,
Hey.
the late great John Candy, who apparently, according to James Hellier, says the great John Candy, who was offered the role of Mushnik. I think he's better in this role than.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have been probably good as Mushnik, but he's maybe not old enough, I think.
He's too animated. And
I adore John Candy. Greatly missed man.
yeah.
I mean, with John Candy, we've got some of his greatest roles. Uncle Buck, of course, as someone's put a screenshot of. Great Outdoors. One of mine I absolutely adore is Summer Rental. I love
No.
Summer Rental. Just every
Yeah, his
film.
list of hits.
Yeah. Splash, James Hellier. Yeah, exactly. Splash, he was great in. Sharon of Summer Rental as well. We always watch that movie just before we go on vacation. It's our tradition.
I love how the song was starting off again and just hard cuts.
Yeah. And the other thing, Sharon, is next trip to Florida I'm taking, we are going to where they filmed the movie, and we're going to the restaurant that was Sully's.
Got it all
JFK,
planned.
yeah, another one with
When's that happening? I need to prepare myself mentally and physically.
June next year. I am going back to Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, Stripes, Mad Matt, another great movie.
Yeah. Oh, that's the truth. But I can't leave him.
Yeah. The thing is, we're looking at this from kind of a comedic point of view here.
But it's horrible.
She's in an awful relationship. Yes, exactly, Neil. I need to know the difference between Beach Road and Beach Lane.
Yeah, like most things in this film, it's coated with this saccharine sweetness, this musical magic, but
Yeah.
the actual what's going on, the stories are so grim, so
They
dark.
are. Is her arm in a sling?
It's this like fishnet sling.
So what's he done to her? I mean, he's obviously hitting her and exactly, Hannah Rose. Frank Oz balanced the black comedy nicely with the real human tragedy of the story. She's clearly in a horrendously abusive relationship, which we see a bits of later. But she's in love with the dream. She's not in love with the person.
Yeah.
Or Soul Search and Destroy saying, you can't blame Audrey for wanting Rick Moranis. He's a catch. Well, look at it this way. He's a proto-geek, proto-nerd. Many of us are geeks and nerds. I am. And he was a trailblazer in geek and nerd acceptance in the world.
A short king.
Edward the Black Prince doesn't love this song. I understand the point of it, though, because it's framing her. Literally, she wants to live in an advert.
Yeah. Look at how calm that dog is.
Yeah. Oh, look. everything in the
plastic
house
on the
is covered in
furniture.
plastic. Yeah, which was a common thing for some people back then. My late grandmother, she had an interesting that a lot of British people had back in the earlier part of the last century.
Wood panelled stove.
Yeah, she had 2 living rooms in her house, or 2 living rooms. And the front room was the good one that you only used at Christmas and things, and it had the posh settee and the posh furniture in it, and it was all covered in plastic, and you only ever went in there literally at sort of Christmas or a birthday or something special. But then the other living room was the one with all the mismatched furniture, and that was the day-to-day one.
Yes, the living room. The girls come over and sell each other Tupperware. TV
exactly,
dinners.
Sharon. She's dreaming of an ideal life. She's dreaming of the impression of an ideal life from the magazines at the time, where everyone believes that's what it was. It was a typical 1950s
very
sitcom.
Nuclear Family.
Yeah.
I'd be really unnerved if I walked in on my kids, one of them just puppeteering a puppet and the other one just sitting there menacingly staring.
Oh, that's the thing. Demigod says, I think it's just so sad because our highest aspirations are just the most simple things. And then Soul Search and Destroy says, I notice most of her dresses have flower motifs tying her to Seymour. Yes. Could be as well, she works in the flower shop.
But yeah, that's the underlying melancholy nature to it. Her wildest fantasies, her louder than loud dreams, her quintessential perfect life is TV dinners and living in a clean place.
With a man who doesn't hit her.
With a man who doesn't hit her. And they sleep in separate beds.
Well, that was a big thing back then, where people would have separate beds.
Oh yeah, all the TV shows showed it. Separate beds.
Yeah. I will say one thing. My wife and I do not have separate beds, but I will say, secret to a happy marriage, Dom? Separate duvets.
That's fair. That's very fair. I do employ that tactic currently because in Las Vegas it is freezing.
Well, I get very, very warm all the time, so I have a very thin duvet, and she has the thickest duvet known to man with separate duvets on the bed, and it works.
My wife and I are the opposite. She gets boiling very fast, and I freeze.
I just love the style.
Oh,
songs.
Such a good soundtrack. It's such a good soundtrack.
They are. I don't think, though, this movie, if it was to be remade, I don't think it could be updated to move it to a time frame away from the 50s, because I don't think the narratives would... The themes may be common on some of it, but I don't think the narratives would work.
I agree.
That's kind of creepy, where he's so...
Yeah. The lengths that he'll go to keep his plant going.
The poor tramp's still outside, even though the shop's getting a lot better.
Yep. Home of the Audrey too. Oh, there he is.
That's right, James. By all accounts, Rick Moranis is a lovely person. When his wife died, he quit acting to be a full-time father, which I think is a very noble thing he did. And hopefully one day he will return to acting. Now, Hannah, I'm going to talk about that. A little bit of a side note on this. You're saying, as much as you love the film, there's some songs you wish they still included, which is Mushnick and Son and The Meek, Child and Herrick. With films excluding wonderful songs that are written, Howard Ashman The lyricist for this, of course, worked on a great deal of films that won Oscars and etc. And one of them being the Disney Aladdin film from 1992, which is quite a benchmark, part of the Renaissance era for films. He wrote a song called Proud of Your Boy. And it's heartbreaking, this song is. It's basically a song to his dead mother about how he'll basically turn his life around. And it's a wonderful, wonderful song, but it was removed from the film and the plot of the film was changed slightly, where the character of his mother was removed from the movie.
That sucks.
It's a wonderful song. You can find it on YouTube and find them singing it, and it's a real shame. But it's so it's it does show that sometimes, unfortunately, great works of art can't be included. Neil saying, I thought Ryan did come out of retirement to do a new Honey I Shrunk. I believe it's a Disney Plus series. I think his kids are grown up now. He's done a cameo in that.
Yeah. A public place like a department store?
Oh, I just love Steve Martin in this because he's so deliciously over
Comically
the top.
evil.
Yeah.
Every action he does is just vile.
Even his motorcycle, though, it's just the quick gets off it and he just stops so his own doesn't fall over.
Yeah. It's amazing.
This is. It's the punch of that nurse as soon as he walks in. It's
bam. Oh yes, and Bill Murray's cameo. Oh.
Leader of the plaque.
You feel all of it, don't you? It's just these quick actions.
These lyrics are just phenomenal, aren't they, to all the songs?
Oh yeah, and this the puppet tongue.
Oh.
That poor nurse again.
Oh, this is. Oh.
Say ah.
Oh, this is.
It's beautiful.
So, Julian Demigod also says, I read the dental equipment was also used in the movie Dead Ringers, and the props show up in a couple of movies. Quite likely, if it was in London, a lot of the props get reused.
Hey, why not?
Hannah Rose says, this is all a huge violation of the Hippocratic Oath.
Do dentists need to take the Hippocratic Oath?
I guess they do, yeah. And his motorcycle defies physics.
Just lands perfectly.
Yes, dentists do take the Hippocratic Oath. I have just checked.
There we go then. I can imagine Meatloaf in this role.
I don't know about Meatloaf. I think the beauty is it's because Steve Martin's such a good comedian
Yeah,
with the acting.
and a lot of comedians make for amazing bad guys.
Yeah.
Like Leslie Nielsen in
Yeah.
Creepshow. Big. Ugh.
Well, Sharon's saying, notice the dentist's teeth that were gross. It's like having a doctor who smokes in your face. And as Lizardman says, not uncommon for 50s doctors. There's actually, if you look on YouTube, commercials for cigarettes with the brand recommended by doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Unfortunately, what he's doing there is a real thing that is a plague in the UK at the moment. I don't know if it is in other places. Huffing, they call it, where people inhale nitrous oxide from whipped cream chargers.
Yeah.
Huffing gas. I read the technical explanation of what it does to you and why you shouldn't do it. Basically, it causes the fat in you to liquefy in your blood.
Will it get me skinnier?
No, but it will possibly cause you to have a stroke.
Well done.
If you do it to an excess, it's due to the fact the way the gas, because it's in a fatty substance, cream. Normally, it would be to make the cream puff up, but it's not good. So don't do it.
Before I had my diabetic blood sugar monitor implant on my arm here, my fingers were like that all the bloody time, having to stab my fingers every couple of seconds.
Oh, another great song.
Yep.
Soul Search and Destroy. Feed me.
I'm starving! Ugh. I love it.
I love the fact that it's obviously in kind of a Jewish neighborhood. He's going to Schmedrick's for the...
Yeah, Schmedrick's. Feed me. Feed me all night long. Oh, I love it.
Several of the... While Audrey was not a Muppet, as in she wasn't a Jim Henson puppet, she had Muppeteers controlling her. That's where the expertise came through. Brian Henson was one of them.
That explains how articulate Audrey 2 is.
Yeah. And this is Levi Stubbs as the voice of Audrey, lead singer of the Four Tops.
Yep.
Legendary, absolutely legendary group. And as a kid, I don't know if you remember this cartoon, there was a Nintendo cartoon called Captain N the Game Master.
Yes.
And he also voiced Mother Brain, who sounded identical to Audrey, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. It almost is a dark Aladdin in a way.
Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't even think
With the
about
whole
that until now.
genie element of it is. Oh, wow.
Oh,
That's a great fact from Dueling Demigod Auto. The hydraulics couldn't move quickly enough, so when Seymour's in the same shot, he's acting in slow motion.
damn, Rick.
That's great.
Reservations. Mutilation. I love it. So well done.
It is.
And how active the camera is such a risk. And filming in reflections is always a risk as well, because you're gonna get the cameraman or the crew in shot, but they haven't.
Exactly. Yeah, the reverse. It's the evil genie aspect, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But equally, this is very much a thing of the 50s and sort of that kind of time period. He's as much falling in love with the media image. He wants to be a James Dean cool guy with a motorcycle, perceived as the coolest guy. She wants to be the perfect housewife as perceived by the media. Then it's media influence on the characters, basically, of the time period where your perfect self was
Dictated
produced
by
others.
commercials.
Yeah, by commercials.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do 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 do. And the film lures you in because you
Yeah.
vibe with Seymour completely.
The problem is this kind of kill, you're like, yeah, he deserves it.
Yeah.
But it's that first step that Seymour's going to make, and you've justified one. What's to stop you the next?
Justifying the rest.
Yeah. As soon as you've made that first leap.
Ah, yes.
That's Miriam Margolyes, isn't it?
I was about to say! I was like, wait, I know you!
It's amazing. This is proto-Saw, isn't it?
Oh, is that a cigarette ashtray?
Oh.
Oh, the ultimate foil. A total masochist.
Yeah. Apparently, thank you, James. Over on YouTube, Bill Murray's part was largely improvised. Nothing after he gets in the chair is scripted. I love the fact he's just getting himself ready for treatment.
Yeah.
Bill Murray is
It's one of
just
the greats.
awesome at the improvising.
He practically sings it.
Exactly, Edward.
Very
It's Uncle Buck with his
inconspicuous.
drill doing dentistry. Yes. It's a bit...
It's your professionalism that I respect.
I just love how frustrated he's getting. Oh,
Oh,
oh.
oh God. Oh.
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 Stealing the tools. Oh.
Oh.
No.
Oh, here it comes. Yeah, the results of a
Oh.
neglected mouth. Wasn't that a dog? It's Rusty.
Oh. Oh. No. Oh.
Oh yeah, his special gas mask.
Okay, that's really worrying.
It's so bloody ridiculous.
Oh, God.
It's the little bladders that are just going up and down.
This is... Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Oh, Seymour, don't lower yourself to shooting him. Yeah, good point, Lizard Man. You know, this technically isn't really murder if he ends up taking too much.
Yeah, true.
You could be charged with mutilation of a corpse, though.
Mm. I was gonna say you could just take the contraption off, surely.
Hmm.
This reminds me of the apartment from
Creepshow.
yeah, from Creepshow. It's so
Big
spotless.
cockroaches everywhere.
Mm.
Mm.
Hey, easy win.
It is. Whether or not he could have taken him for potentially life-saving treatment. And he
He didn't
didn't.
take the Hippocratic Oath.
No, I know that. But... Oh, God.
I love how stiff, how comically stiff the body is.
Well, rigor mortis has set in.
Rigor mortis, that's stiff as a board.
So James Kelly says the dentist's surgery was dirty and blood saturated originally. They cleaned it up for reshoots. And Lizardman says, I guess this is technically manslaughter or refusal to assist, death by association. What's the actual charge for not helping someone as he's about to die? I'm not sure. I think that might be a crime if you have it within your power.
A decent lawyer could get you off.
Yeah.
If you're there for a treatment and they use tools to aid themselves in treating you and they happen to injure themselves, how are you to know what to do? You're not trained in those
But
equipments.
did he call an ambulance?
He was in shock. My client was in shock.
Eric uses the same thing as well. Says the same thing as well. Just say you were in shock when it happened.
Oh. I thought you were about to say he uses the same method of disposing of its bodies.
No. Demigod, Dueling Demigod Auto says criminal neglect, maybe. And Soul Search and Destroy says, oh boy, dismemberment. Just another Sunday
Just
afternoon.
another Sunday afternoon. Curse those low lighting. What is lighting him from the bottom there that casts such an ominous silhouette?
I don't know, and I'm not going to worry about where the lighting source is. Like his boots are in the trash.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, Audrey's even eating the bits of the newspaper. Ah. Yes, Edward. Originally, there was a lot more blood with the movie. They cut it out, but I don't think it's needed. I don't think they needed to make this a strong gore fest, to be honest.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be at all. The horror comes from the situation.
Mm. That's right, Lizard Man. They may be a horrifying abomination from beyond the stars, but Audrey 2 is just so happy.
How can you say no to that happy voice?
Yeah, Sharon, exactly. Seymour had no reason to think he would have died, as it seemed like the dentist would inhale the gas on a regular occasion. That could be his defensive question, but cutting up the corpse and feeding it to a plant, that's possibly a different story, yes.
Yeah. No body, no crime. Am I right?
I don't know.
I do like how there is this dilapidated building around the back.
And this is the problem, isn't it? That's not a good line. Epsom salts are for bruising.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, every punchline just has this sinister
Yeah.
undertone. The money I'd save on it, like, if that's a thought,
Yeah.
oof.
She's blaming herself for a situation as well.
Who hasn't been there, eh?
I had to break up my relationship with a dentist who abused me.
See, I just fed mine to a plant. It was fine.
There you go.
We all need a Rick Moranis in our life.
Yeah. Hannah, exactly. Here comes a power ballad.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. He saw a girl he respected. You're very welcome, Pep John. We love doing these watch parties every Sunday. That's why we do them. Saying thank you for making you rewatch this masterpiece. That's what we like every week. We pick a film, sometimes movies you've not seen for a long time, maybe one you're very familiar with them. It's just great to hang out with friends. We're all friends here. Yeah, exactly. While all the songs in the musical up to this point were very doo-wop and 50s, 60s, this song sounds very much like it's written in the early 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's late 70s, early 80s kind of song. But it's putting a contemporary song into the movie. It's quite a, it happens in quite a few musicals.
Yeah. God, she kills it here. She's
Definitely.
so amazing. Such a great range, like being able to hit those high notes with a lot of power and then just reduce yourself back to that breathy innocence. It's great. And she's such a complicated character when you compare it to a character like Seymour. Having that strength wrapped around that softness.
Yeah. It's a great song. The performances are just brilliant. The whole thing's shot amazingly. It's just so well done.
Every time I sing about myself from now on, I'll sing about myself in the third person as well.
I would. Refer to yourself in the third person. When you come down for breakfast in the morning with your family, sit at the table and say, Dom has got up this morning and Dom will have cornflakes.
Narrate my life.
Yeah. He's going to the fridge to grab the milk.
I often said I need Keith David to narrate my existence. We need to get in touch with him again.
I don't think I'd want Keith David. I think I'd like Sam Elliott.
That's fair. Oh, yeah. You have to wear a cowboy hat everywhere you go, though. Gosh, shucks.
Oh, dueling demigod auto. Yes, I agree with you. Brian Blessed narrating your life.
I'm not epic enough to have Brian Blessed narrate my life.
No.
I can't think of anyone who does like goofy joy better than Rick Moranis. The way he turned around at the end of that song
Yeah.
with just the happy your shucks kind of feel.
It's a question, isn't it, Sharon? If you were to sing a love song about yourself in the third person, who would you want singing to you?
Andrew.
Yeah. Wednesday night meetings, Dom. Wednesday night meetings.
This is probably my favorite part in the
Yeah.
film. See, is he thinking about Audrey 2 at this point? Is that why Audrey 2 is
Yes, I don't
singing?
know. Or is he hearing Audrey from upstairs?
Maybe.
Well, no, he can't because...
Supper Time is... Okay, Supper Time may be my favourite song. It's hard to pick, okay?
You can't. That's the problem. You keep saying, this is my favourite song. It's my favourite song. And it's like, just... James saying, yes, Mushnik is the only major character who does not sing. Even the lighting and everything is just really kind of cool. It's very claustrophobic.
Mm-hmm. And then again, the muse is just emerging, and their dress is just flashing in the darkness. It's great. Such good atmosphere. Lay low for a bit. Just a solid 30 or 40 years. And are the muses here, like, encouraging Seymour?
I don't know. It's...
That's what I've always pictured in my head. It's like... It's encouraging him. The devil on his shoulder. Go on, do it.
Yeah. Oh.
Perfect tension building.
It is. It's Seymour, don't. The guy was good to you.
He is blackmailing him now, though. And can he really be blamed for that one? Come on.
I don't know. But I will say, every time she consumes flesh, like human body, she grows significantly, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm. Like how he has a sandwich at a fancy restaurant.
Yeah, but it's his imagination, isn't it? High-class food to him is maybe a sandwich and that milkshake.
Yeah.
He's imagining.
Same with Audrey 1. She was making triangle sandwiches in her fantasy.
Yeah. But let's not forget, 1950s and 60s food was very strange. Find one for our Discord. Can I offer anyone frozen cheese salad or
Ew.
the epic ham and bananas in hollandaise? 50s food is very weird.
That's just horrible. That's something a child would do, surely.
It's high-class food.
Ugh. Thump.
Oh. Exactly, Hannah. The 50s was the dark age of cuisine. No wonder everyone was so skinny back then.
Get your ham and bananas with hollandaise. Pop it in your nuclear-powered microwave.
Oh, don't, Lizard Man. You're talking about something worse. Jello salads. Yeah, well, they were obsessed with, back then they called it aspic, which is basically Jello. Everything was in Jello.
I don't need that texture in most of my foods, thank you.
Do you mean tangy tomato aspic with shrimp?
Oh, no. Not with shrimp, no!
And the thing is, Dom, have you ever fed your dog expensive dog food? Because
Yes. It just looks like dog food.
There we go. Back to the movie. James Helly says that the bananas hollandaise, nothing goes better with a late night screening of Extra than bananas and ham in hollandaise.
Don't you dare sully Extro's good name. Banana ham and hollandaise.
Wow. Phonic. So you said you ate that kind of thing today. That's the usual thing. I mean, it's different foods, but I mean, certainly in the UK and in America, we don't tend to eat a lot of food in sort of Jello or gelatin.
Apart from Jello.
Yeah.
He's got such an infectious little smile.
Yeah. That's true. Very good point over on Discord from Kaizo Kuj. If I'm saying that wrong. It's interesting how Audrey's clothing has changed now to be less revealing and tight now, but is that maybe due to the lack of influence from her boyfriend, her former boyfriend?
It seems brighter as well. I know she used to wear quite a lot of white, but she'd have a black on there as well, a lot of darkness overlapping brightness, and now it's more colour. That's it. Stranger Things definitely copied Little Shop of Horrors.
Yes.
Why do you pick the most vine-ridden area of the floor, Seymour, to walk through?
But if you look, he's almost dressed in that suit like the little man in that in her kind of perfect commercial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a good question, Sharon. Is Audrey gaining in confidence in herself now to know she is more worthy of having a nice guy like Seymour?
Such articulation in
It
Audrey
is.
2. The teeth have become far more predatory as well.
Yes.
Some banana, ham, and hollandaise for you, buddy.
That would kill Audrey immediately. Yes, Lizard Man. Jello and fruit is fine together. Just don't ruin my dessert with vegetables. Sharon says, though Seymour's almost a serial killer, he's still a nice guy.
Yeah.
Some really great sort of puppeteering going on here with this whole operating the phone. Yes, it's all
Considering they
search and
could
destroy.
have.
You're just in awe of this huge puppet I am. It's so well
Yeah.
done.
They could have essentially just cut to Audrey to grabbing the phone. They didn't have to do all of this puppet work.
No.
Even the wrapping of the tendril around the phone cord, like,
Yeah. And
and then
the drumming of
rattling on
the yeah. She's almost
Oh,
wearing
she
her
has
wedding dress.
the dog is the same dog as the dream. It's just a little puppet
Yeah.
version.
Sharon saying, okay, who taught the plant how to use the phone? Well, I guess she's probably just been sat there watching people.
I do love this musical sting.
Yeah. But again, this is a very, as Soul Search and Strawberry saying over on YouTube, this is a very 80s kind of theme. Kind of this music's a very kind of 80s riff we're getting now.
Oh, yeah. All bass.
Yeah.
It talks.
Again, another great song, but very intimidating, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
That's because the
exactly.
audience knows how dangerous Audrey 2 is.
Yeah. You don't say no to the voice of Levi Stubbs.
Mm-mm.
Sharon says, best way to watch this movie, turn up the volume enough to hear the music and be able to listen to the chat. Definitely an integral part of the movie. It is. The music's fantastic. We'll say Audrey's really savouring Audrey there, trying to eat her. Because with Mushnik, she wolfed him down in...
Yeah, two
And I will
gobbles
say,
flat.
Audrey doesn't appear to have big teeth marks across the midriff.
ENIAC, I was waiting for someone to
Oh,
use that
actually,
line.
no. Sorry, she does appear to have blood leaking on her midriff. Look.
Oh, yeah. Well, Audrey 2 does have those big gnashes now.
Yeah. Exactly. I think Audrey is taunting Seymour.
Mm-hmm. You got what you got because of me, buddy. I can take it away, too.
Aw. It's very uplifting.
Especially considering I think the alternate ending started like the scene before this.
Yes. Oh,
Another great cameo.
cameo.
Which one of you is Seymour Krelborn?
Melbourne. That's right, Jim Belushi. Oh no.
Worldwide.
Everywhere.
Nothing can be bigger than hula hoops. Let's just get that
Well, it
right.
depends if you're British. Hula hoops here mean two things, don't they, of course?
Yes, they do.
In the UK, we also have potato snack hula hoops, which are a great crisp or potato shape product.
You said that in the most alien way possible. We have potato snack.
Well, we have to call them chips because they're not chips for us, are they?
They're crisps.
Crisps, as we would call them. That's our hula hoops.
Yeah. I used to put them on my fingers and pretend like I had the great rings of power back when I had small, stubby fingers.
Yeah, but occasionally you put them on, you bite too hard, and you'll bite them off your finger, and you bite your finger. Yes,
exactly. Yeah, you'd bite your finger. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one who did that then.
Is that actually? That's a good. Now then, I'm not going to say so. I don't like to particularly swear on watch parties, but I'll allow that through. Is that the first? Is this movie the origin of that phrase?
I don't know. I use it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
God, the American version.
Oh, bugles. Bugles are not hula hoops. Amazing puppet we're seeing again here with so many bits moving.
The amount of puppeteers it must have taken.
Yeah. Is a giant plant that wants to... Oh, I just love this. This feels very Muppet inspired, doesn't it, that bit?
Space.
And this song was nominated for an Oscar, I believe, as well. It was. Alan Menken and Howard Ashman, the dream team of the Disney Renaissance.
How many other films can you say had a big green puppeted plant convincingly shoot a gun at a guy?
Yes. But also,
while
I
singing.
I wouldn't mind being killed by Audrey 2 all that much, I guess, because the song's catchy.
Yeah, you die tapping your feet at least.
Yeah, exactly. I just love.
Oh, I love it.
The only problem I've got is after this, it's gonna be late in the UK, as you know. I have to go to sleep in an hour or so after the watch party finishes. I'm going to be humming this.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be in your head.
Earworm and the choreography of the heads is just incredible.
Oof.
I do feel that more evil monsters. I don't know. Maybe Jason should have a song, a musical number.
Well, Brian Fuller is doing the Friday the 13th prequel TV
I'll
show.
go for it. And from my understanding, I believe with the latest Halloween film, it would have been less jarring if Michael had erupted into a big musical Broadway number at the end. Mad Matt says Jason does the cha-cha-cha. Yeah, Lizard Man. Yeah, Jason does have a lot of songs like Man Behind the Mask, but you don't see him singing it.
Why haven't there been more horror movie musicals made? There's The Evil Dead the musical, which is very good. If anyone gets a chance to see it, go see
James
it.
Helly says, though, and this is another bit of evidence in my theory, the theatrical version is usually the best. Killing Audrey and Seymour isn't what you want after their love story. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Neil Whaley says, speaking of supper time, need to decide what's tonight's menu. All this talk has made me hungry. Well, don't have anything in aspic or jello, unless it's fruit.
Perhaps some banana ham and hollandaise.
Dueling Demigod Auto says, didn't they make a Reanimator musical? Or am I hallucinating that?
Potentially. Toxic Avenger the musical. Amazing.
I'm genuinely surprised that the latter Elm Street movies didn't have Freddy
singing.
Well,
was it Will Smith that did a song where...
Oh, that's an interesting one. I'll talk about that another time. It's basically that song was unauthorized. It's not actually Robert Englund in it. Nightmare on My Street by Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Mm-hmm.
It was not
Nightmare on Ice. I'm not sure if it's the director's cut necessarily. I think it's just an alternate ending. I believe the theatrical cut was the director's cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a great
Mad Matt
shot in the alternate ending.
Nightmare on Elm Street on ice. And Laserman saying, how do you put that sort of movie on ice? They'd find a way.
Yeah. Where is this neighborhood with perfectly manicured AstroTurf?
But they are on, basically. If you think back to Beetlejuice, you know the handbook of the recently deceased where it had the perfect picture
of
the lives? It's that kind of universe, isn't it?
It is. Like the one concrete area in the back there for the
Exactly. Well,
barbecue.
James is correct. Giant Audrey 2 is going full Godzilla or Kong is fun, but not the ending the film needed. No, it's
Exactly.
sometimes it's nice to see someone get the girl and have a
Win?
nice time. Well, everybody, that was Little Shop of Horrors. I've had a blast. I've absolutely had a blast tonight with this film. So much fun. So we're going through the credits, got the music playing. Dom. Well, everybody, if you give me your comments, I'll relay them from YouTube and Discord. But Dom, what do you think?
It's phenomenal. It holds up tremendously. It is such a great film. It's so fun. And it has that sinister undertone that all great musicals have. Name me a great musical that isn't horrific in some way or another.
It is. This is just such a fun film, and you can tell they had a blast making it as well. That they were loving it. So we'll go through some of the comments we've got over here. Sharon saying, "And Seymour gets away with murder." Edward saying, "Cheesy. I hate it." Well, that's okay. Hannah Rose saying, "It's an awesome film." Kaizo Kudge says, "I feel like I got a different version. It's still in a song." Yeah, I think you're watching the director's cut. Eric saying, "It's a great movie. Fraglord, weird movie, but fun time as always." Phonics says, "Great movie with amazing songs." Lizman saying, "I still prefer the original ending, if only for the song and the fact I love me some kaiju monsters."
Yeah.
Sharon, great movie and great group to watch it with. Lizardman says, "But hey, awesome movie all the same." Hannah Rose says, "Love both endings for different reasons." And Soul Search and Destroy says, "Thank you for featuring this film. Well, you're very welcome, and thank you for joining us." James Helly says, "It's a blast." It has been an absolute blast. That's probably the best way to describe this movie. It's so much fun. It's crazy. It's silly. It shouldn't work.
Exactly. It shouldn't work.
It shouldn't work. Oh, thank you, Brainwire. I love this movie and the group of people I got to watch it with. Calbot, love this movie. Great watch party. Thanks all. Anak, good movie. So much energy. Well, everybody, we will be back in 7 days' time, and this is a highly requested movie. We've smashed through the old rules, and I have heard your requests. We are watching next week. I'm going to put the GIF, as I often do, first before I relay it to YouTube, in our Discord.
I'm looking forward because I've already forgotten what it is.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, my hometown of Nevada.
We are watching Tremors next week, which is another kind of great horror, sci-fi, comedy. Such a fun movie. So everybody, for the next 7 days, please don't adopt any plants from outer space and feed people, even if you don't like them, into it. That's not what we're here for. Just look after each other and be kind. And we will see you all in 7 days. So everybody, please stay safe. Until then, bye-bye.
See you soon.